Maybe what's happened to them is what happens if you sit in the bathtub too long.
You
your
brine.
skin gets all wrinkly. That's what's happened to them there.
Yeah, they're
That's why
definitely
their
brined.
Is that what happened to Thanos' chin?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was just dipping his chin in the water for a while.
He was sitting up against the radiator, and he's like, oh.
Well, that's the thing. You also can't.
The issue with this movie is, in my mind, is that for Infinity War Part 4, or Infinity War 4, whatever it is, Avengers 4, we are trusting it's going to be a great movie, even without a trailer. We haven't had a trailer for this movie yet, and to be honest, I'm starting to get a little apprehensive about it.
With Captain Marvel?
Because I'm going, Marvel makes good movies. I'm not saying they don't. And they've had a string of 3 or 4 now that have been very successful.
Here's my thing.
But we haven't seen anything with this yet.
Okay. Well, Brie Larson also had to film both movies at the same time, and she had to film Avengers 4 before she could film Captain Marvel.
Right.
Because Avengers 4 was the priority for Marvel.
But they couldn't give us a trailer.
Right.
Well, I think it's also only 6 months to release. Right. And you don't really need to start promoting a movie before that 6-month period.
Yeah.
Which is why I still think we get a trailer by the end of the month.
Yeah.
And it's still only the 6-month period. And I think it works out well because now you can promo Captain Marvel.
Yeah, but you didn't get anything at the e-conferences. Nothing. You didn't get anything.
Well, it was also it was like 9 months until the release of the movie.
Yeah, but they should. I think they should have given you something for Captain. I agree with Infinity War because that's going to break box office records.
Oh, yeah.
If they don't show us anything, that's going to break box office records. But Captain Marvel, in my opinion, doesn't have the clout to not have given us something to this point besides just 12 pictures.
But see, and I think it will the moment they release the trailer.
Yeah.
And I think they know they could do that at any time, and suddenly they'll have all the momentum on their side.
Another thing too, the thing that scares me is that they're talking about, she's the
most powerful thing in existence.
Not
outside of Thanos.
If anyone can do Superman well, it's Marvel. Weirdly enough,
That's actually kind of true.
Yeah. But
Marvel, I have a pitch for a Superman movie.
But she's a girl.
But the scary thing is that they're going, she's going to be our flagpole person. She's going to be the person
for the next couple phases.
Right.
Yeah.
And we don't have anything.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't know anything about her. Fans tend to be split on whether they like her in general in the comics to begin with.
Yeah.
Because sometimes she's not the best character.
And I think this puts more pressure on this than on Avengers 4 to be a good movie.
Yeah.
I think this has to be a really, really good movie because you gotta want 2 things. You gotta want to see her fight Thanos in Avengers 4.
Yeah.
Right.
You gotta
need to walk out of this movie going. By the by, hang on. I do need to say this in case you haven't noticed, Megan. We talk over each other
a lot,
so you need to butt in.
Oh, okay.
Okay. You won't get a word in edgewise unless you do. Just smack David across the face and start talking.
Or just
I do it
smack
all
David.
the time.
Ah!
So,
no, I think you have to want to see her in Avengers 4, and you have to be looking for sequels. Mm. You have to want to see sequels.
So
for
we
this
have
character.
to be in the theater with our binoculars. Just there's the sequel.
Because they have Black Panther that was a massive success. People couldn't wait to see Infinity War. People couldn't, and I'm
Ant-Man and the Wasp
was
a good success.
It
Was cute.
It was cute.
Cute.
It was cute when they disintegrated into nothing and left him in the quantum.
Why are you so mean?
I'm just asking a question.
And I thought also Doctor Strange. I wanted a sequel.
Yeah.
And I was looking forward to seeing him in Infinity War.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Now let's
He's
come back.
get this perspective here. As a woman, how do you feel about superhero?
Wait, Megan's a girl?
You are?
Sandy's
No, she's
No.
How do you feel about superhero movies that are taking a more gender mature role in the next phase, as far as Captain Marvel taking the reins in the next phase and kind of pushing the reins for more women to take the lead role in superhero movies?
Well, let me tell you, as a woman.
Wait, Zach's not a woman?
That's so mean.
No, but please answer the question.
I like the idea. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I not talking loud enough?
No, you're good.
I like the idea, but I think it's kind of lame. Like, I think they could have moved it more smoothly. Like, I don't know. I feel like Captain Marvel is going to be, like, save the day. Like, it's going to be, like, some cheesy ending. And, like, I feel like they built these characters and we know these characters. But, like, now they're just adding a new character.
Swiss? American? What type of cheese are we talking here?
All cheese.
Gouda.
Gouda?
Yeah.
A nice rich Gouda.
It's gonna be smoked.
It's
Oh, Brie as in Brie Larson.
We've done it, everyone. We can be done. We've hit the pun.
puns. Yes, I've got them. Actually, Maddie has them.
Fantastic.
Well,
I quit. Goodbye.
But yeah, this podcast is taking a turn for the worse. And thanks for all listening. And
No, we still have one more topic.
oh yeah.
What's
right.
the topic?
The topic is the Spider-Man game. I don't think anyone here has played it except for Drucker and I.
I watched it.
Yeah, you watched all of the cutscenes.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
I'm going to tell you this much, and this is a blanket statement from myself. Top 5 game I have ever played.
Is it a comforter or is it more of a?
No, I use a blanket, like a throw blanket that my mom made for me when I was in like 9th grade.
So a nice knitted,
Yeah,
a nice
real
knitted
nice.
blanket.
It like really breathes, kind of thing, but it also keeps you warm.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to like layer
My
it.
cat likes to
I'd be
sleep
disturbed
underneath
if
it.
the blanket started.
So when he paws and claws at you, it's sinking in
Yeah.
through the knitting.
No,
Right.
this was a top 5 game I have ever played.
Yeah.
Just incredible game. And I think it was because, I'll say this off the top, this game has been in development for like 4 years.
At least.
And I think that's one of the reasons why it's so good, because they said, you know what, we can take our time and make a good game. It wasn't Call of Duty or Madden or The Show or any of these games where they're like, we got to pump a new one out every year. No. They went, we're going to take our time and we're going to make an exceptional game that has the ability to have DLC, but is a complete game, complete story in and of itself. And if you just buy this game, you were going to have a great experience.
Yeah.
Now, what do you say for the naysayers that are invading the internet right
They're
now?
idiots.
Of like, oh, the storyline isn't fully complete.
They're idiots.
Oh, that's why they're going to have so much downloaded content for it.
I agree,
Go ahead,
100%.
The story is a complete story. There's little Easter eggs in the game that the DLC is going to expand on, but they are Easter eggs. There's little side content. The actual story itself is a complete story. It takes, how long did it take you? At least 20, 25 hours.
It's about 20 hours for the actual story itself. And there's a ton of other stuff to do in the game.
And the story is a really engaging story. It's a really good story. At the beginning, excuse me, there's a lot of people saying it's a
You're
predictable.
excused, David.
Yeah, I'm always
Bye.
excused.
Yeah.
There's people saying that it's a predictable story.
Yes.
And it is to a point if you know certain things about certain
It's
characters.
a predictable story because there's nothing new under the sun.
Yeah.
You cannot write something new. It's been written already.
There were a few twists that did surprise me in the story.
And we're not gonna say
we don't want to spoil
spoil
anything.
the story.
We don't want to
So,
spoil
we're not
anything.
going there.
But if you know anything about the comics or just the movies, certain characters that are introduced at the very, very beginning of the game, you know certain things happen to those characters. Now, what they did with some of those characters did
interesting.
surprise me. It was quite shocking if you see the E3 trailer and you find out who that person is. It was quite shocking.
Right. If you remember the E3 trailer when he's on the raft and he's fighting everybody and they beat him up and he goes, "It's you." The character of who that "it's you" is, I
was
didn't
not
see coming.
expecting
I
that
did not
tra-
see coming.
character.
It's great.
And that's why we don't want to spoil it for any of you. We want you to buy it, play it yourself.
There are a couple of... I agree, Roman. Roman says the MJ and Miles parts are kind of dumb. I agree. They're slow, and I understand why they did them to improve to put the story forward without it just being talking. So I get that part, but I agree with you. They were dumb. And the only other thing in this game that I didn't like is that the boss battles don't have a health bar. So you don't know how close you are to actually defeating the boss because there's no indication.
But I also like that the boss battles weren't generic.
Right.
It felt like they were part of a story and that there was a story progressing as I'm fighting the boss. Because they're talking with each other and they're not repeating themselves like they do in other games. Right. They're actually carrying...
It's not a
you,
set of three
Spider-Man.
lines.
They're
that they just
actually
keep repeating.
carrying... They're carrying a dialogue as they're fighting. And it's developing the characters, it's developing your story more, and your fight's progressing.
Yeah.
And then that's what makes the final fight,
By
I think, even more...
far the best combat and swing mechanics in a Spider-Man game ever.
yeah, by far.
Now, it is true. People
Not
are saying
that
it's
it
based
has
off
a
of
lot
Arkham.
to-
It is, but Spider-Man fights well with the Arkham fighting system of jumping around from enemy to enemy, and you're using your gadgets and you're using your webs and everything. It's great.
They
did
made
an excellent
everything
job.
so fluid.
Yep.
The one thing that I did find a little rough was when you're swinging and trying to transition from swinging to a building.
It doesn't. You don't stick to the building immediately.
You have to.
It is weird.
I learned you have to kind of web zip to it,
Yeah.
and he'll go. But that was a little sticky. But
I heard it's
little
weird about
sticky.
the web zipping.
Puns. We've got them.
and another thing I thought.
Yes, we have Megan now.
Yeah, we're done.
Another thing I thought was pretty cool was they have a ton of different suits, like 28, I think.
I think
27?
it's 28
something
suits.
like that. Each suit has a unique power, and you can switch out the power with any suit once you unlock a suit. So if you have a particular suit you like, you could say, I like this power, I want to use it. But I like that when you switch your suit, through all the cutscenes except the final one.
It kept that suit in the cutscene, which it never does. In a game where you can switch suits, it never keeps that suit. It always goes back to the original suit for the game.
Yeah,
and it
only did that at the very end of the game.
Right, at the very last cutscene, really, for when you're going to fight the final villain the final time, you have the suit that's the original suit in the game, which is fine.
Dude.
That's red.
Ooh, like the sauce we're gonna be.
That's a lot of blood.
Why is
Did
there?
we kill a dead body here? Is there a dead body?
Why did we have a ritual sacrifice going on?
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
The ritual sacrifice
Oh
is
my
not a sponsor.
gosh.
But if you own a PlayStation 4, pony up for it. It is well worth it.
And
well
I think it's worth the
and it's
$60.
replayable. Like I can't wait. I'm gonna 100% this game in the next week or so, and then I'm gonna restart.
Well, what's
it.
cool is I just found out today they're actually releasing an update soon. That's going to have a new game plus. So like you keep all the suits and everything you've upgraded, and you get to play the game over again with all that.
Interesting.
So instead of having to start a new game from scratch,
Right.
you'd have everything you've already unlocked. So that's pretty cool.
It's a great game. Pony up and get it if you've got a PlayStation 4.
I'm already ready for the DLC.
Yeah, I can't wait for October.
What would you rate it out of 10?
9. Solid.
Maybe 9.5.
Yeah, it's. I can't give it quite a 10.
I would give it
because
a 0.
I give it a 4.
Well, you're an
maybe
Xbox person.
maybe a solid 4. Yeah.
You've only watched the cutscenes.
I thought the cutscenes were great.
Now let me tell you.
For the
Let me
cutscenes.
ask this question lastly, and then we're going to end our podcast. And one of the things I didn't like is how Peter looks.
He looks
It's
like
weird.
Andrew Garfield and
Toby.
Toby.
not Tobey Maguire. If you look at him, he looks like Andrew Garfield and what's his face, the new one.
Oh,
Tom
Holland
Holland.
mixed
yeah.
together. He looks weird. Now, you know what? I'll take a weird Peter Parker with a great Spider-Man
And you know-
any day in a video game.
And I also
But
want to say one more thing I liked was all the Easter eggs in the game.
a ton.
There's comic landmarks like I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's Avengers Tower.
The Avengers
there's
Tower,
the Sanctum
the
Sanctorum.
You can take Josie's Pub.
Yep.
You collect certain things, and one of the things you collect has a business card for Nelson and Murdoch.
Yep.
And he quips. He goes, "This blind lawyer gave this to me." Come to think of it, how did he know I was Spider-Man if he was blind? And so, like, there's tons of quips throughout the game that are Easter eggs to others. It's great.
and that's another thing I love too is Spider-Man is Spider-Man. He's so quippy.
They did a great job.
There's one line when you're fighting. There's these bases you have to clear, and there's one base he clears. He says, "I came here to fight bad guys and quip, and I'm all out of quips." He's a funny
It's
character.
good. It's good. Pony up, buy it. You won't.
That's cool.
you
I
won't be
wish it
disappointed.
wasn't just a PlayStation exclusive.
Well,
I wish
Sony's
they-
making a ton of money off of it, so
Yeah,
I don't
they
care.
are. Yeah, they really are.
But thanks for listening, guys. I know this podcast has been shorter, but tune in to the live feed. You can go back and
Right
watch
around
it.
31 minutes.
Nice. You can go back and watch it. We're about to die. So we're gonna sign off here. Tony, tell them where can we be found?
Well, you can catch us on Spotify, iHeartRadio. You can catch us on iTunes. You can catch us on just Google us. Google us. The Weekly Nerd. The Weekly
But you
Nerd.
have to put the
Yeah.
before it,
Yeah.
unless it won't come up.
And it's usually spelled BRRW.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
You
You're
gotta
gonna
spell
want
it
to put that second G in there. You know where it is.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's spelled how it
It's in there,
sounds.
it's in
Yeah,
there.
it's in
Yeah. You can also catch us on SoundCloud,
Streaker.
Spreaker,
Oh, I almost had you this time.
Spreaker.com. You can also catch us on Tumblr as well.
Instagram
Tumblr?
and Twitter at the Burning
Instagram
Brush.
and Twitter, The Burning Brush,
At
The
The
Weekly
Burning Brush.
Nerd, Tony
You
Kaz.
can't plug your Instagram. That's not okay.
And my Twitter.
Oh my
not?
He
goodness.
doesn't post anything interesting.
Do you want to see pictures of my cats? At the Burning Brush.
No, don't do it.
Nobody wants to see that.
Except
But,
for all the
uh,
people that like my pictures because they're pictures of cats.
Maybe they're just liking them, hoping you won't
No,
post
they
them.
won't post Little do they know they're just empowered.
Maybe if we give him
Now
all
we
the
sign off.
attention, he'll
We
stop.
sign off every show.
we say 1, 2, 3. I almost said welcome to the weekly.
Welcome to the
Welcome to the
Weekly
Weekly
Nerd. I'm
Stay
Sam.
nerdy, stay nerdy. Okay, so I'll count us down, and then I point, and as we point, we say stay nerdy.
Yeah.
You'll get it. All right, let's practice it. Ready? Stay nerdy.
Stay
Cool.
nerdy.
Now let's do it
yeah.
where you're actually saying it loud enough. To
All
be
right,
heard.
guys, we appreciate you listening. Like, share.
Comment, subscribe,
Trying to reconnect.
eat pizza.
Like, share, eat pizza, love us, share us.
Oh yeah, and as always, stay nerdy.
Stay nerd. Dang it.